Do not try any of the experiments you're about to see at home.
We're what you might call experts. On this episode of Mythbusters, the boys try out the old myth that a wet tongue can get stuck on a flagpole, and the whole team will recreate the Old Testament's Day of Atonement in order to explore the myth that Christians are not supposed to judge. Join Doug, Brad, Brian, Dom, and Tate as they don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Hello, sinner.
I think you're enjoying this way too much.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Don't tell me. So you're saying that today's myth that we're going to be working on is that Christians should not judge.
That's exactly right. You know, judging's got a bit of a bad rap in the Christian faith. But you know, if I've got a sin in my life that I can't see, shouldn't my brother be able to tell me and help me get out of it?
But it doesn't matter if God is saying that we're not supposed to judge one another.
Here's the situation. A holy God has drawn together a lot of unholy people into his midst. These are God's people, and he wants us to become Christ-like, pure and holy. But we aren't. And according to the myth, we also aren't supposed to challenge one another to become holy. And if we do, that will be displeasing to God.
Well, Doug, I have to say, this sounds like a really tough myth to test.
Brad, I think it's probably one of the toughest myths we've had in the past year. It took us even 6 months just to be able to come up with a solution for it.
Well, what'd you come up with?
You're going to like this, Brad. We're taking a little bit of the Old Testament and combining it with some new modern technology.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, you remember the Day of Atonement?
Yeah, that's when the high priest would go and sacrifice on behalf of the whole nation.
Yeah, and actually there's a reconciling of the people with God, right? We don't have the Day of Atonement in the classic Old Testament sense, but what we do have is a Day of Atonement simulator.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, and what this does is this is able to connect in with the truth of God and with the true hearts of the people. It senses the hearts of the people.
So what happens if, say, someone's heart isn't really repentant?
Well, you see, that happened in the Old Testament a lot too, because God would look down at the hearts of the people and notice that they weren't truly repenting. They weren't truly sorry. Sometimes they didn't even know what was going on in their lives.
And then he would send the prophets to come and tell people what the sins of the nation really were.
Judgment. That's what we're going to be testing.
Nice.
On the Day of Atonement, the high priest would enter the most holy place and sprinkle the blood of the sacrifice on the ark. This ritual reminded the people of their sins, and it symbolized that they needed God's mercy because they were unable to make atonement for their sins. And for those who truly sought God's mercy and his righteousness, they were accepted by God. So to make this experiment feel more realistic, Dom and Brian set out to create their own Ark of the Covenant. They followed the instructions of the Bible in the construction of the Ark, the mercy seat, and the carrying poles, finishing everything off with a 24-karat gold treatment.
Well, Doug, I have got to tell you, this is one of the most impressive builds I have ever seen.
I think the team are genuine craftsmen when it comes to this. I mean, this is about as authentic of an ark as I think could have been created at all. So anyway.
Wait, don't touch it!
Oh, wait a second. When I said authentic, I don't mean it's the real ark. We don't have it activated yet. This is just a facsimile. Here, hold the mercy seat. It's okay. I'm holding it. It's fine. What makes this ark at least real for the sake of the experiment that we're going to be doing today is inside of it we have the atonement simulator. Now the atonement simulator is connected on one end to the truth of God, and it knows the truth of God. The other end is the sensor as to whether or not a person approaching is truly repentant of whatever sin that they happen to have inside of them. If they are repentant, well, it allows them to come in.
Okay.
You know, and that's the mercy. That's part of what's going on here.
And if they don't?
And if they're not repentant, let's just say that it gives them a painful awareness of whatever can make them aware that there's a problem. Now, we're going to activate this now. Okay? You've got 5 seconds. Once I activate this, you'll have 5 seconds in order to get that lid back on, because after that, the only thing we can touch is the poles.
You're a generous man.
Well, I didn't make this device. So, ready and... That was good. I think
right.
that worked out well. Okay, now let's get Dom in here. Dom, can you come in here? He's got the 6-pack of sin that we're going to
how's
be
it
using
going, guys?
today.
Hey, buddy.
All right, here it is.
Thank
And
you.
Dominic, the way that this works is each one of these sins is going to be a little different. It's going to have a different kind of look on you. When you take it into you, we'll be able to see it. We'll be able to know what it is. Obviously, the Ark of the Covenant is going to know what it is because inside of this, we have the atonement simulator that's in here. The difference is you will not know what sin you have inside of you. So, bottoms up.
All right,
There you go.
Okay.
Sin number 1.
here we go. All I have to do is drink this.
Okay, that's it.
Ooh. Ooh. Is it really supposed to look like
It's
that?
not always that bad, but that's one of the nasty ones.
Oh, come on, guys. I don't feel a thing.
Oh, we're not pulling your leg here, Dominic. Really, it's inside of you.
Okay.
Now, here's the way you're going to
Say
test
so.
it out, Dominic. You touch this, and if you are correct as to what sin is inside of you, if you know what's in it and you want it out of you, and you touch this, there's no harm to you. On the other hand, if you're incorrect, you'll be made painfully aware of what's really inside of you.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I got this figured out. I think I have the blue sin.
The blue sin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Dominic, is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. I don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I got this.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh!
Ow! Jeez, guys, that really hurt.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It wasn't the blue sin.
Well, yeah, I know that now, Brad. Oh,
Well,
jeez.
Well, let's keep up the experiment. We got 5 other sins that you can go
right.
through.
Oh,
Here's
my
number
gosh.
2.
Guys. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh.
Yeah. That's not one of my favorites at all.
Is this one going to hurt more?
Well, they basically hurt about the same, Dominic. I mean, it's just a simulator as to whether or not you really
It's
are.
the same, guys. Guys,
repentant.
is there any easier way to do this?
We could tell you what you have.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's telling you something wrong with you. That's a little judgmental, don't you think?
Anything that can help me not go through that pain again.
Well,
Okay, tell him.
you have the pink sin.
Okay.
You do.
All
you
right.
have the pink sin.
I have the pink sin.
Yes.
Are you sure, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. That was
Do it again if you want to, Dominic.
huh?
Put your hand on there. It doesn't matter.
Nice.
See?
All right.
That's what it means when you know what's really going on.
Guys, that
with
was
you.
so much better.
So you didn't mind us telling you something that was wrong with you?
Oh, that was so much better than doing it on my own.
Hey, Brian, we had some really good results with Dominic, almost exactly what we expected from it. But of course, like any good science experiment, we got to have 2 subjects. And so you're a second subject here.
Sounds good.
All right?
All right, so what do I do?
Just drink in the swig of sin, and that will change the obvious color with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
how, should it take, an hour?
No,
Don't
it's
swim,
in you right now.
Well, I mean, I don't feel any different,
You're fine.
and I don't look any different.
But you have the sin inside of you. So what you do is you guess at the repentance of the sin and go ahead and then place your hands
I
on
would
the
gladly do
mercy
that,
seat.
Doug, but there's nothing to repent. I will show you. Oh!
Well, that was not totally
What?
unexpected.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that one coming. Well,
That's okay, Brian. I mean, this is the second phase to it. We'll give you this one. We'll let you know exactly what sin you have inside of you.
Okay.
And this time when you touch the ark, you won't have that problem.
okay, Brian.
Good.
So this time what you've got is the sin of...
Wait. Now, it sounds like you're about to judge me, and that's not what I want.
Brian, this isn't judging. This is where we actually are letting you know so that when you touch it, you don't get shocked.
That makes no sense.
But you
But
have...
I don't need your help. Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so we do it twice, I suppose.
All right. Well, we'll watch. Let's figure it out. Ow!
Well, that's 2 for 2.
Okay. That's
All
okay.
right. Bring it.
All right, this time we'll let you know, Brian, exactly
Okay.
what's going on with you. Oh,
So this time...
Brian,
Watch. Watch.
No, you...
Brian, that's not how this is
No,
supposed
Brian.
to Brian, this isn't how this is supposed to
Watch.
operate.
Hey, you guys are judging me and jabbering, and I can't have that right now.
Brian, you cannot touch this ark.
Okay.
That is too much sin in you right now.
Are you ready?
Brian, I don't think really you should be
I
doing
don't
this.
think you
We've
should
only
do it.
done it with 1 sin at a time. We've never done it with 3.
You're about to see it.
No, Brian.
I think he's dead again.
Well, Doug, I think we got some really conclusive results out of those tests.
And some awesome technology.
Absolutely.
It demonstrated, I think, when a person is being belligerent and they're not wanting to change, they don't want to get the sin out of their life, it's hurtful.
Absolutely. And it also shows sometimes people are really repentant, but they don't know what they need to be penitent for. And having a brother or sister point that out with love, that really helps them.
That's consistent with God both in the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Absolutely.
So I think that we can pretty much say that this myth is
Busted.
Busted.